there's the representative that you send in to deal with such and such a person. I was curious as to how life would be if I just embrace my nature. If I walked in my nature, they say you
Mm-hmm.
walk in nature, you don't conquer it.
I did accounting and finance at school. So now that I'm not in accounting and finance, one could think that I wasted 3 years of school. I don't think so. I think I've built certain relationships that can lend itself to help me like later on in life if we see how that goes. So
Thank you for
this
the
is
invitation.
it's another episode of the Student Struggles podcast. As you can see, it's so lovely drawn behind us.
Yes.
Not really. But
I think it's a fair depiction.
it was effort.
Yeah.
My art skills have dropped off a cliff since school finished, but it's okay.
You tried your best.
Thank you. I
You also
appreciate.
forgot the E. It's like student struggles.
Oh, we can put by the L
Yeah.
at a later
The
date.
L, sorry.
Imagine if it was there. Imagine it was
Yeah,
there.
there's an L there.
So thank you for coming on. This is another episode of the Student Struggles podcast. Just hoping to have discussion to benefit younger versions of ourselves, and by accident, hopefully somebody else is able to benefit.
Yeah.
So, Rhianna, introduce yourself. You know what I mean? You new at school. You know what I mean? He may know you, and he should be like, Rhianna, who's you?
Yes.
Who is you?
Yeah, I'm new at school. I liked how you put that. Okay, so my name is Rhianna. I am 22 years old. I have been in school since I was like 5 years old. So
You can sing.
I've been in this thing for a bit. Can I sing? No, I cannot sing, but I
Under
still do
my
my thing.
umbrella, Ella.
Can't sing. Can't sing. It's so interesting. With a name like Rihanna, I kind of like live in Rihanna's background. So I can expect that every time I say my name is Rihanna,
People be like underwhelmed, like,
you can sing, or is like, you gonna be a billionaire? And I'm like, you know what? Some things I could.
see, they ain't got a very popular dread, you know. I don't know, like a
Lauren Hill.
dread?
You said dreads?
Dreads.
Dredge?
My name, Rhianna.
Oh, Jared.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, because in my head you know Jared. So like,
Oh,
you just
fair.
said Jared. Yeah.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Yeah. Yeah, but you know, I didn't get into acting or anything like that. So anyhow, that's a whole sidebar. Sorry. Go back to what you was doing.
Yeah. So I went to the Luther Thorne Memorial Primary School. Primary school was
Mid?
Yeah, it was mid. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can end that
I could
sentence
see.
there. Yeah. Secondary school was a lot of fun. I made a lot of beautiful connections with people who are still in my life today.
Dope.
I had very good teachers. I would always say I had great teachers.
You went
growing up.
ASC, right?
I went to Dighton Griffith Secondary School.
You did?
Yeah.
Why you straight you went ASC for sixth form?
No, I went to BCC for sixth form. People
Bro,
always
for
assume,
some reason I thought you as an ASC person.
Why?
Bro, I don't know. Is the energy though?
Is the energy?
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. I thought we was gonna have this whole big back and forth, but whole ASC versus QC, and I was like, like getting myself excited to be like, when I in town, I want to go to pop down school, and you know what I mean? Anyhow,
Yeah.
I was ready for that whole back and forth, but I guess not.
Yeah, you could just put that aside.
Okay.
This is the school on the highway.
Well, you live in highway.
Yeah.
Far.
You could say that. You could say that. We have a very big pasture. We don't really hear much of the traffic. We're in our own little world.
Where you live, by the way?
I live in St. Philip.
Oh.
Yeah.
That worked for you.
That's
where you wanted to go?
Pardon?
That's where you wanted to go?
Where did I want to go? I guess like everyone else, I wanted to go like Queen's College or Harrison's College. It
was in your heart.
I like to lodge because my parents went to lodge, and my parents are big like lodge people.
Okay.
So I was like, well, if I had to go to lodge, I would have been okay with lodge as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was just like, yeah, QC or HC,
Okay.
SMS. But I can't say that when I got to Dighton that those feelings remain. I think Dighton was perfect. It was the perfect environment for me, and it gave me the tools and the challenges for me to become who it is that I am today.
Okay. Well, if you did not know, I have such capability as to be able to knight persons as honorary members of Queen's College.
I already got knighted.
Well, no, it's not on the same level.
Sydney and all them money, then take care of all that.
All right, fair.
I've been in long time.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, what am I? What would I be? I would just be like the honorable.
No. We gotta give you something special, like honorable captain of industry, Rhianna Smith. You know what I mean?
Work.
You know what I mean?
I'm cool with that.
And I bet you didn't get that yet. So it's different.
Not that one.
It's different.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Fair point. Anyhow, so
I
that's
like that the
cool.
title is a bit more expansive, you know?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Industry.
It got involved some sort of like professionalism, but like still some sort of like authority. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
mm, I get that's our saints. That you know what I mean?
I feel you.
No nonsense.
Professionalism and authority. That's what you got about me. No nonsense.
No, it's to combat. It's to fill the void of what's not there.
Oh, okay. Interesting. We can pick about that. I can pick at that when we get off camera. Yeah. That's like one of the lines that I gotta plan. Like what I was telling you about earlier.
All right, let me get
To
to
be
some.
continued.
Yeah, we will deal with that off camera.
Uh-huh.
So recently graduated.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was cool. I didn't go to graduation.
I didn't either.
Time I was done, you was just like
Nah, like it was so
okay.
different. It was so like you see, like my university experience versus my secondary school experience. Not in there. I felt connected. I was like, yeah, QC.
Right.
Like I used
This
to,
was the family,
you know what I mean? But I don't know if it was COVID. I don't know if it's that just
Mm.
that is so many more people, so it's less to feel in it.
Yeah.
It's harder to be in a community of
Yeah.
persons that's so vast.
Different nationalities, different
Like on a scale, yeah.
faculties. Yeah.
So like for example, it's like I think the reason why you could like if I mean you as a Beijing and like we in Europe is different because like the scale of what the other
Mm-hmm.
countries is.
Mm.
But like going from like you know what I mean school to like 800 people that you really could see like 100 on a daily basis to like seeing everybody every single day like ain't same
Yeah.
thing, bro.
It's not. It really isn't. And I think it gets you ready for how your eyes are going to be when you get into the world.
But
You know, nothing
telling
to,
me
nothing to. It's not as personal. You know.
nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I would say like my school experience, especially sixth form, was preparing me for university, where it was like,
Mm.
Mama, I is a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you gotta do all this work. It's for
Mm-hmm.
you to get done.
Right. You know
Like
that
when I,
all
you
at
know
you.
what's mad is when I hear people be like, my teacher ain't do this, so that's like, bro, nah.
Yeah.
So when you can get to your job, you can be like, my employer, cheese on, bro. Nah, you got work to do. You gotta get find a way to do the
It's
work.
true. It's true. Well, I didn't go to sixth form. I went to BCC, and I would say that BCC definitely prepped me for UE
Uh
in
huh.
terms of just being responsible for my own workload. We
Okay.
aren't coming to class and reading out
Uh huh.
anything. I mean, granted, you would still have certain classes where a text would need to be read or
Right.
something like that, but it wasn't the same as secondary school where the teacher ensures read that again. Tell me that again.
Nah, you're not
They're
as
a lot
vested. There's not
more,
invested in your progress as you should
yeah,
be. It's
a
different.
bit more aloof in
Yeah, I
teaching.
think it.
Yeah.
I think as you age from when you first go into school, is that oh the teachers are more invested than you are.
Yeah.
Eventually, it flips where you were supposed to. You get a stage at university like you in a class with like 200 people and there's one tutor, and
Yeah.
it's like you know.
Yeah. And it's different on that same theme of investment, how the investment changes
Mm-hmm.
from the teacher is invested to you. So you now gotta kind of invest in the teacher. You know,
Yeah,
in this
I make
weird
more of an
way.
effort
Yeah.
and letting yourself too.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
it's kind of interesting you said that because I think that's the reason why you're doing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
The business, the pod. I was just like, bro, like there's a lot of stuff that I wish that I had discussions about when I was younger
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't.
Mm.
So like I feel like school teaches us to like do good on exams, but don't teach you like time management,
Yeah.
how to, plan our, schedule our time, prepare for exams, like
Mm-hmm.
a study schedule. How do we even learn? How do we even study?
Yeah.
How do we digest
And
information?
before all that, how to be human, you know?
Yeah,
How
none of
to be
that's taught.
human.
I feel like we
Yeah.
should be learn how to do taxes and all that jazz. Like for example, for me, like if I get my license like a couple years earlier, I didn't know that like I would still pay lower on my insurance even though I was not driving.
Mm.
I
So
feel that's something that should be
you're
taught.
talking about you wanted the details earlier.
Yeah.
To me, I wanted the details, yes, but I wanted details for different things. I wanted details for navigating people. It
Mm.
was more than like navigating the business of the world, but more so navigating relationships, navigating disappointment, navigating expectations, and how do I build my life, from me as opposed from me as the individual, as the heart behind it, and not just the person that's gonna write on paper and be like, yeah, fill out this document. You gotta get this document to get the house. You gotta get this lawyer.
Mm.
I wanted the details, but yeah,
Are you better at that now than you were when you were in school?
in terms of interpersonal connections,
Yeah.
definitely. I would hope so. I wasn't in school for a little sack. I would have hoped that I've grown. Well, secondary school because
All right,
I
yeah.
just
So
finished
all right,
last
okay,
year.
cool. So let me compare where you are now to like you at like 17.
Me
Are
at
you a lot better
17.
at like interpersonal relationships?
Yeah, definitely. I think my
How do you measure it now?
how
You know
do
what
I
I mean?
measure it now? I measure it by how clear I feel when I
About
speak.
to someone?
yeah, how clear I am in my, not just my position, but in my interest and in my expression of these things.
Interesting.
So, um, to give you an example, and this is very layered, but I would say my thing was growing up, my thing was taking up space. My thing was confidence. It was, you have a question to ask and raising your hand and asking a question.
Uh
I
huh.
battled a lot with being the person to initiate and being the person to speak up, And I guess it how that played out when you take it not just from a perspective of being in class and being too shy to ask a question, or
Mm-hmm.
being in class and feeling like I need to behave a certain way to get the attention that I felt like I wanted.
Okay.
It mutated into holding my mouth when someone asks me something like, "Oh, you good? Is there anything you want to talk about?" And I say no.
Mm.
Or is there,
That's
Rihanna, do you have
interesting.
anything that you would like to contribute? And I say no, knowing that I'm burning inside to contribute. And so I would say that 70-year-old me was a bit more repressed, and she was a bit more erratic in terms of how, not, I would say, because there was still some sort of, there's always been a sort of this reserve quality that I had to my nature, I would say. But in terms of navigating like moments of passion, things could get a bit more erratic because I didn't allow, say, an argument to take its course, but I just did my snap and left. And
Mm.
so, you gotta go back and heal the bond, go back and be forgiven, go back and, all these type of things. And that was all based on repression.
Interesting.
And then I got older, and I think what really gave this journey um a new light would have been public speaking in secondary school and signing up for debating, and just always really loving English and really loving
Oh
words.
well, me and you can
Yeah, English was
overlap
my
on
thing.
that. Nope.
And usually maths and physics, like, don't put me
Nah,
there.
I dyslexic, so English
Oh, you
is.
dyslexic?
Oh yeah.
Oh, fair.
So P's and Q's and D's and B's. Not
I
anymore,
get
but I
that.
mean like.
I
So
understand. Yeah,
English was never my thing.
yeah. I like English because I feel like English was the only subject that was allowed me to be abstract. Like,
Mm.
math had this formula, you just put back the formula or you apply the formula.
But
English allowed me to be creative.
and I can see that because in how you speak, I feel like how you speak is your art. How you communicate is your art.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. Like I feel like you're somebody who like really good at doing poetry.
I used to do spoken word, and that would put me back to so public speaking at secondary
Mm-hmm.
school, and then sharing my poetry at school. And I wrote something for African Awareness Month,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just became a bit more comfortable, and then I got into law, and law is something where you have to speak. Like,
Have
law,
to.
you have to speak. You're not gonna
Yes.
come in here. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? What did Lord Atkins say? You can't do it. You gotta learn to speak. And we had you have this type of pressure in law school that's placed on you, that makes you want to speak and speak right, and
Okay.
to approach communication with a
The
certain
right
degree of
way.
precision.
And
Yeah,
and you have to because you're trying to sway others' opinion and things of that
yeah,
nature.
it was all really a matter of influence at the end of the
Okay.
day.
I
um
want to highlight something though.
mhm.
Anybody who's wondering, why they both wearing bucket hats.
Oh, right.
Rihanna came through. I was
Yeah,
like,
my bucket hat.
and she was like, you have one, you should wear yours.
Yeah.
And like I had to change my shirt and everything just to, she dictated what I wore today. So this wardrobe is sponsored by Rihanna Smith.
Yeah, I
Y-
tried.
Get yours.
I told him to start with white, but then he said the white was long sleeve. So okay, well, wear black because I'm wearing white, so I could be white, you
And
could
for
be
anybody
black.
listening, you gotta use your imagination.
Yeah.
So
uh,
get yours in stores now. Wink, wink.
yeah. I just wanted to wear my bucket hat today. I looked out my window, I saw that sun. I was like, yeah, my face ain't gonna be in this,
Yeah.
so I had to cover it. And I was like, I really got into the mood, so I wanted to put my headphones on over the bucket hat and just
Yeah.
try that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So funny enough, it's interesting that you kind of like dictated like how you've changed like over the course of time and like you felt like it sounds like you had to like get more comfortable because like the times where you were expressive, it was It was just like, oh, I got like say this thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of anxiety around my expression. Fear of missing out, fear of not being recognized,
FOMO. Mm-hmm.
fear of not being seen as smart,
Mm-hmm.
fears not being seen as somebody who was different,
And
and
that's well,
that's
law
put
we
a lot of
struggle with.
pressure. Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on how you interact with others, because I think what all that fear does is that it makes you create a mask. It makes you like split your personality. So you have you who is you, and however you react is however you react. Whatever you want to do is what comes up naturally. And then there's the representative that you send in to deal with such and such a person. The representative that you send in
Mm-hmm.
to deal with such and such a person. And I was curious as to how life would be if I just embrace the, my nature. If I walked in my nature, they say
Mm-hmm.
you walk in nature, you don't conquer it.
Mm-hmm.
If I just allowed myself to be,
To do.
yeah. If I
Okay.
just
Instead of trying to just force it,
just forcing
just
it,
let it
and
flow.
and I think too that is where clarity came. Clarity came with me allowing myself to just say what it is. Not, and when I say what it is that I want to say, I don't mean disrespectfully. I just mean, um if I feel like I could take something a bit further, or if I feel like I could challenge a point,
Mm-hmm.
just feeling open to say, or even
Like you
when it
don't
came
agree
to
with this thing.
communication,
Yeah.
even communication, that didn't even need a sort of conflict to be expressed. Like, if I this is how I'm feeling today, or this is how this made me feel, or this is how an action made me feel, or something like that. Just practicing clarity and being honest, being very honest, right down to how it is you're doing today, you know
Yeah. You know what's crazy is how to put it. This same fear that we have that we were governed by when we were like a lot younger. A lot of us still are, and we
mm-hmm.
don't say it. But a lot of persons end up becoming their representative
Yeah,
in some ways,
yeah, living in the mold.
and it's because
They don't know who's on the other side because they're so far gone.
yeah, we as humans we like to fit into groups,
Yeah,
so we kind of do what's needed to fit into the group and not have thoughts, have ideas that
yeah,
challenge the perspective of the
yeah,
majority.
yeah.
So
But I would say too, a lot of us are aching for self expression. A lot of people don't want to be homogenized, not anymore. People would much rather tap into their inner genius and tap into their most creative selves and higher self. The language is in the ear, you know. People don't want to be homogenized, and I could see how like some persons are slowly shifting away. Us talking about our like changing career paths and all that type of
hmm
thing. Um,
which we could get into later, by the way. That'd
yeah,
be kind
which
of
we
cool.
could definitely get into. But yeah, like I recognize that persons aren't the people who's like choose to live in the molds for the most part. I can't observe them as happy and as comfortable and as satisfied in life.
I used to well, I used to be like a hundred
Outside of
percent.
yeah, outside of the thing.
Few that
Yeah,
that's actually for.
the many money is enough, many the status is enough, when the name is enough. But what about the soul?
So let me show you. I used to think that anybody who did not pursue their passion was like living half of a life or not like fully living
Yeah.
life.
Mhm.
But I've
Mhm.
come to realize that it's just that I may not see it or like understand what it is. So that for example, I'd be like somebody working a job they don't like. Somebody may be make working a job they don't like because their passion is to provide for their family and
Yeah.
make sure everything's cool.
Mhm.
So they're doing that. They're not happy doing the other thing about it. But when they get home, they're able to see that they be able to put food on the table, provide for their
Exactly.
family. That's what makes them like feel whole.
Exactly. It's
So it's
true.
just that you may not be able to identify what each person's passion is,
Yeah.
and don't judge. Just for yourself, try to make sure you're doing what makes you happy,
It's
and
true.
don't, as we talk about, don't try to be limited by like the herd mentality. All of us are aching for some sort of a form of self-expression.
Yeah.
Find out where that you can actively work on yours,
Yeah.
and if yours could coincide with the other things, like it could be your job, it could end up being your job, that's even better. I'll let
Yeah.
you real life.
It's true. Our desires are unique, and how it is that we want what we want for a reason. We want what we want because our wants give us some sort of clues into our the our purpose in life, really.
Yeah.
I would say yes, our desires are different, and I would say too that life isn't as easy as, yeah, I'm going to follow my dreams. you know it's Life is a bit more complex than waking up and saying I want to. You got to study, you got to plan, and then there are other things within the
Other variables,
other
yeah.
variables that influence how you live your dreams, what your dreams are, you know? So
Because
yeah.
like I was just talking about this on the episode before, but I was like, well, I would get to do what I want to do to be, be passionate about it, but I still have to work part time to facilitate this because
Right.
this is no longer at a
Mhm.
stage where I can fully rely on this for income.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you want to pursue your passion, but like you still gonna need to eat and sleep and find
Right.
somewhere to live.
Exactly, you
So it's
know.
finding the balance between all those things,
Yeah.
which is something difficult. And I can be real. I need the pressure of growing up and going through puberty all at the same time, and then trying to make sure you get good grades so that you can get a decent job. It's kind of crazy. So anybody who's like going through that right now and you feel like you haven't found it yet, it's okay.
You good.
Like you got like the rest of your life to
You
like
all right. Yeah. Take a deep breath, you know. You're going to be all right.
and wear a bucket hat.
And wear bucket
That helps.
hats. Yeah. Yeah, there really isn't a rush. We were talking about that earlier. This whole idea of feeling like we needed to have it all figured out at 22 and feeling like
Yeah.
we can't change or pivot at 22.
Like you grown into this thing, you roots down deep, you can,
Yeah.
because like, well, I've talked about this before, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, right? So school was a way for me to channel me to do something purposeful and then figure out what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and it worked out.
Yeah. And you mastered something,
What was that?
accounting and finance, hopefully. At least
Yeah, I
there's
think,
something in the toolbox.
yeah, like if I ever had it, because I was saying before, like if things don't work out, I could always go back to accounts. Like,
Yeah. And it's not even like a go back thing. Like that's something that you could apply anywhere. You know, that
exactly with business,
way of
and
thinking.
persons don't even think. So know that I have my own business, I have a way of like thinking about it from an accounts perspective. Persons
Yeah.
don't have that usually that business side. So it's
Yeah.
like this is what I try to tell people. Don't be scared to go like don't be scared to change paths because what you learn on path A and you think that path B is completely different, there's something that you learn on path A that could come across the path B and
It's
make
true.
you like different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like I might, for example, let me say I start doing stand up and I don't be like a successful comedian, but then I start a pod because I got that little background of like being somewhat witty and funny. That helps me to interact with my guests and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
don't know it could be in the smallest ways that these things overlap and
Yeah.
interact and make your what you do a lot different from somebody else's thing.
It's true. It's
So
true. I think it's cool to allow yourself to morph into different things
yeah,
and see who you could become.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
kind of actually kind of fun. It's like
it's
you in a
cool.
character in a video
Different
game,
characters. Yeah.
and like you
You
could
put
kind
on
of
this hat today.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it's funny, even though you talked about before, like there's a representative some persons have.
Hmm.
I I did accounting and finance at school, so
Hmm.
now that I'm not in accounting and finance, one could think that I wasted 3 years of school. I don't
Mm.
think so. I think I've built certain relationships that can lend itself to help me like later on in life if we see how
Hmm.
that goes. I think it's still essential to have an idea of or an ideal of yourself that you're striving towards.
Yeah.
That is not real because that is not who you are right now.
Hmm.
But you have like this person you aspire to be, even though you're not that person right now,
Hmm.
to ensure that you're still making progress and moving forward.
That's really cool. That makes me think of like you are your the phrase you are your own role model.
Yeah,
Like actually visualizing.
yeah.
Yeah. Make
Like
yeah.
my hero is me from 10 years from now.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I do everything that I know that I want to do, and hopefully in 10 years, if I'm still here,
Hmm.
um, my new role model would be me 10 years from then.
So what is your hero like?
Me in 10 years, I would like to be in a place where I in 10 years, let me say 10 years. 10 years, I'd be like to a 32. My take, I would like to be in a I would like to be married, real talk. But
Hmm.
more so than that, like I want to feel like established, like mentally, physically, financially, to not have like I want to do this as like the main thing. At 32, I would like to think that I've done enough work that I'm choosing to go work a part time job because
Mm-hmm.
it kind of chops up the monotony of me just like whatever. Like and I want to have the sort of experience where like I could encourage persons younger than me to do the same thing. But honestly, I just want to improve. Like I just want to be the sort of person. Like I saw this clip from Jordan Peterson, and it's interesting because I was telling everybody like writing on like my quotes and like inspiration is coming from like YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and like Instagram Reels. But anyhow,
Hmm.
so he was essentially said, "What sort of person could you be if you did everything you were supposed to do for like 10 years?"
Mm.
That's it. And I started thinking like, so it wasn't, and it's not limited to just one aspect. It could be like physical health. It could be finances. It could be mental, like working on yourself, or like the issues you think are like childhood trauma. I was like, imagine if like I just do all those stuff for like 10 years. Like, who would it be? Like, yo, because most people content with who they are, and they never try to refine their version themselves. So there's like, it may be John 1.0, we never get to 2.0, 3.0, but I always trying to see like in all areas of my life, what could I do to like improve? So like for me now, I think is me working on like being more like purposeful in like how I move. I feel like I used to like be like just me 100% to every single person. But in my life right now, realizing that like, and it's kind of interesting. The same question that I asked you earlier about like how do you measure relationships and how you interact with persons. For me, it used to be quantity over quality. It was like, oh, if I got enough friends, that means like I'm well, like I'm a social person, like people like me. No, it's quality. Like I'm starting to like draw those persons to myself that are like, I know that they're for me, and know that rock with me for the right reasons, and I plan to write it out, bro. Like I'm having fun. So you forget.
I got comfortable there just listening. But yeah, I get you. I get that.
So yeah, hopefully me in 10 years does that. But I could, I feel like at all times I'm living for like my past self and my future self, because I don't want to give up, because my past self has made sacrifices for me to be here where I am right now. And whatever I do now impacts my future self at the same time too.
Yeah.
So kind of having that perspective allows me to be present. So.
Yeah, I get that.
Hello. Sorry, I had a crooked day for a minute. Hello there. Nice to see you again. I'm just taking some time from editing to hopefully remind you that, yes, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this podcast. If you did, gently tickle the like button. We don't say smash the like button over here because we don't condone violence. Also, listen to the audio podcast down below, because that has some tidbits and secrets that are not in the videos, and those come up before the videos too, but take your choice. Audio podcast down below are one of these 2 videos. See ya!